Silver is not just an industrial metal. I don't know if that's coming from people that are upset they didn't get into silver when it was in the teens or what, but some people just believe it's just strictly an industrial metal, that, you know, it should be nowhere near the price of gold because gold is money. Gold's the only money. Well, silver's actually been used as money more often than gold has over the last 5,000 years. There's a whole bunch of countries that have the same word for money as the word they use for silver. Like in the country my wife comes from, the word for silver is plata, and plata is also the word they use for money. Silver is money, and people are going to be finding that out. They're going to be finding out that they'd rather have silver money than paper money when, you know, the dollar really starts to turn downward now because the Fed doesn't have a lot of tools to use except to print money. People are going to be finding out. You know, people, that reminds me of, you know, the people who bring up the fact that the metals are in a bubble, that silver's in a bubble and gold's in a bubble. You know, I think gold's had a huge run-up. It's due for a correction. But silver, when you talk about them being in a bubble, you know, everyone would be out buying them. Everybody's not out buying them. You see a lot of signs, cash for gold. That's because they want you to sell them your jewelry. They want you to sell your gold. A lot of people are selling their gold at these high prices. But not a lot of people are buying gold. You know, when the housing bubble happened, everybody and their grandma were buying an investment home. Everyone was buying a house. But people, not everyone's buying silver. I still only know about, used to be 2 people. Now I think I know 4 people buying silver. It's just not happening. The average person's not buying silver. When the average person's buying silver, you know, that's when will be, silver could be, you know, $1,000 an ounce by then, who knows? But it's not happening right now. So the upside in silver is huge, and I know once we break 50, people will start talking about a bubble again. Don't let the people talking about a bubble in silver scare you. Do your own research. Research the silver market. It's such a huge opportunity. One last thing I wanted to talk about in this video. I was listening to an interview with Peter Schiff, and he was talking about, you know, the double dip recession. I don't even think we ever came out of recession. It's just a bunch of manipulated numbers that showed an increase in the GDP. Yeah, well, the Fed was pumping tons of money into the system. That's what's held us up since 2008. But anyhow, things are slowing back down again now, and the Fed's going to be forced to do QE3. But usually when you head into a recession, you're not at 9% unemployment already. You know, that's where we stand now. Usually you've created jobs during the previous expansion. And then, you know, and then the unemployment rises when you go into the recession. And then also with the 0% interest rates, usually you've had to raise interest rates during the expansionary time. And then the Fed has the tools available to lower interest rates or do quantitative easing, which is printing money. We're already at 0% interest rates heading into this recession. So they don't have that tool. The only tool they have is to print money. And that's going to send gold and silver skyward. I mean, we're going to see above $100 an ounce silver sometime next year. We could even see it this year. I'm not going to go that far, but things are just really speeding up. You know, silver could just explode. It's being held down. Just wait. I mean, if we start hearing about shortages, that could be the tipping point. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what's really going to happen. So anyway, the Fed can't do much. And so anyway, the Fed can't do much. The dollar's just going to keep falling. And when you can only get like 0.5% on your dollar in the bank, that's going to push people into silver and gold. It's going to push most people into silver now because gold has gone up above $1,800 for a 1 ounce coin. So I don't see how anybody could just sit back and watch the precious metals rise and be happy with their paper investments.